What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? We are back for part two, y'all. If you haven't checked out part one yet, where we discussed women's basketball and kind of our thoughts, initial thoughts heading into this 2023-2024 season with Ernie Myers here, 1983 national champion. Make sure to go check that out first and foremost here, and then come right back here, where now we kind of switch over here to the men's basketball side, which is, in my opinion, Ernie, kind of the same story on both sides.
Yeah, same. Eight new players.
Yep.
You know,
A lot of talent.
Yeah, we got a bunch of inside players coming in. You know, the kid from Clemson. We got Muhammad. You got
Still got
You
DJ.
got DJ.
DJ gonna
You
DJ.
know, yeah,
You got two DJs. You got a DJ
yeah, you
Horn
got
and
Ernest Ross.
yep.
You definitely two DJs. Yeah, but it's all about guard play though, for me. You know, what you had, Joyner last year and Taquavion, they bought it. The men's game is guard play. If you don't have great guard play, you're not going far at all, period. In this league or in a tournament at all. So trying to mesh those players, Horn and, the kid from Indiana,
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, yeah,
Taylor from
Jaden
Butler.
Taylor. Jaden Taylor.
Yeah, and then you got the guys who were there last year, KC Marcel and
LJ.
and the point guard who played a little bit,
Breon
Breon
Pass.
Breon. He should get a lot more playing time. Those guys are gonna have to bring it every game. And the way that Coach Keats coached the game, he plays the perimeter, full court defense. He guards the perimeter on the 3-point shot. Defense. If you're not playing, you ain't gonna play. If you're not guarding that 3-point line, and getting the ball inside. I mean, you're gonna. It's the same. You're gonna have to knock shots down to open it up for our big people to play. Everybody. I know everybody's looking forward to watching the big fella play, but he's got to be able to get the ball in position where he can wheel and do his magic. I mean, he's a great field goal shooter for a big guy on the inside. He knows how to play. He knows how to position his body and get to the basket. But he's got to get the ball in a position where he can do what he does. So guard play is going to be key for this team, for this up and coming Wolfpack men's team.
And this is kind of like a little bit of a side thing here, but I want to ask, being a former player yourself, I'm really interested in your thoughts. But last year, man, with DJ Burns, again, it was a routine thing. You see him a couple times a game where DJ would back the guy down and every single time the defender was immediately going to the flop. And I mean, what were your initial thoughts watching those plays? Was it I just don't know. Again, when you're talking about blocking versus charging, there it's right. How do you look at those plays?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
the
I mean?
most objective play, and there has to
Exactly. It's so objective.
Yeah, and it wasn't like they were really bodying. He was really bodying the guy. You know what I mean? It was, guys were just flopping. And it takes away from the game, and it's all about the referees and how they call it to start the game. Because. Yeah, he's backing you down slow and trying to get position, but they're not really banging. Back when I played, they let you bang. The guys were banging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it
different
was
era.
more contact. When I played with guys like Lorenzo and Kozel and Chris Washburn and guys like that, it was
They
more
were bangers.
physical.
Yeah.
They let you bang. It was more physical. It was a more physicality to the game. But now you see you know what he's going to do. I mean, if you're watching him play, he's going to slowly back, throw the left hand leaner. The ball kind of has like a magnet in it because it's going in somehow, some way. More often than not. But he's not just bogarting. to
Right.
get where he's going.
If it,
So
it felt like if DJ sneezed and the guy fell over, it was a charge.
it was a charge. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And
Yeah.
and that's the referee and the way they start calling it. Started calling the game. And most of those games were against the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
What I mean, where they would
But
make
Ernie,
those
isn't
type
it kind of
calls.
like different because I don't think because DJ's game is so different. You don't see a center with his back to the rim anymore, right? It's
No,
that's old school, like you said.
That's old
80s
school.
play.
That's
Right.
why I like the way he played. I called the Duke game on the radio, and I just was like, he reminded me of a guy that I grew up with. We used to call him Fat Daddy, and he was a big guy, but he knew how to position. He knew how to back you down. He knew how to score on you. He was definitely Willis Reed esque with the left hand. Old school.
Yeah,
You
little
didn't
hook,
see
little baby
that.
hook like Kareem.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, with the baby hook, not
yeah.
not Kareem. Kareem
No,
had the
no,
sky
that's
hook.
a whole different one. Yeah, he had the
Yeah, that's a
swooping
whole
one.
different. But
Yeah.
Willis Reed or Bob Lanier type, NBA guy, lefty that could, that had the touch around the rim, he's kind of like a throwback player.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Wolfpack fans really appreciate the way he played and how he played, and he kind of bought it. He kind of caught Wolfpack fans off guard, because they hadn't seen a guy like him, come in that could, score down low. I played with some guys some great inside players. They had turnaround jump shots, and they were big guys that could move like guards. They were out of their area. A guy like Chris Washburn was like, he can run the floor. He can, he wasn't a banger, but
He was a truck.
Yeah, yeah, he can get up and down the floor. Guys like Charles Shackelford, and Lorenzo Charles was like a power guy. Get it in, boom, dunk on you, that type of thing. But he really, became a fan favorite because he just didn't look like he could do it. What I mean? And he did it a lot, and he did it well.
Well, and kind of give it to me too in terms of like, so we added over the offseason transfer from Missouri and Muhammad Diarra, and then transfer from Clemson, Ben Middlebrooks. What do you see in terms of with their game that kind of fills the gaps that maybe DJ's game doesn't have? Like, what is it that they bring down low that DJ doesn't?
Well, I mean, the kid from Clemson, he can step out and hit the shot. He can step out and hit a 3-pointer, or he has better range than and he gets up and down the floor quicker than DJ. That's going to be his issue. If DJ Burns can get up and down the floor, he'd be an NBA guy. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I've spoken to a lot of NBA. Ed Pickney, he's a scout for the Houston Rockets. He was like, there's a guy like DJ Burns. You don't see too many like him in the NBA, but if he can't get up and down the court the way these guys, you don't see guys that look like him in the NBA at all either. Guys are real thin. They get up and run them down. You don't see that type of player in the NBA, but he's going to have to get up and down the court and just be in better shape and play both ends of the court to get to get to that level. And that's what you see with the Clemson. He can get up and down. He can play baseline to baseline. And Muhammad, he's a little wiry. I've been to a practice. He plays hard. But it's going to be a learning curve for him in this conference.
Kind of the wild card there is going to be probably Ernest Ross, right? Like he's a guy that's flashed.
Yes.
Like in Miami, that's the one game that comes to mind that he just went off. I think he had like 24 points or something ridiculous.
Oh yeah. He's going to have to step up. He can get up and down the court. He can play defense on the perimeter. It's up to Ernest Ross.
Yeah.
How much time he wants.
Yeah.
How much time he wants to stay on the floor. I feel because he has the experience. He's been here. He's going to be a junior. this season, so he knows what coach wants. He knows what he expects. So I don't. I saw him in the summer league over at Enlow this summer, and he's athletic and get up. He got to work on his jump shot. He's got to work on his mid range game. He was working on that. His mid range shot or whatever. Stop trying to shoot threes. He's not there with the 3-point shots yet. Right. He'll take it. He's going to take it, but he might be sitting.
He had a couple last year.
Yeah. He got happy a little, and then coach sat him down. Yeah. But Ernest Ross is going to be an integral part. Should be an integral part of the team this year because he can play 3, and I think he can guard a 2.
Oh yeah.
On the perimeter.
He's got a lot of length.
Yeah, he's got a lot of length. Yeah.
So earlier, you talked about Coach Keats' system, and it's a very guard-oriented system, and we talked about, Smith and Jarkel moving on to the NBA, and they accounted for about 35 points, right? And so that's 35 points that you have to come up with in order to, maintain last year's team.
Yes.
You have a guy like KC who, averaged a little over 11 points, shot 41% from 3, so he's a candidate to get, eat up some of those points. Who, you already mentioned Taylor from Butler, and we haven't really talked about DJ Horn and MJ Rice, and, there's a lot of some uncertainty with MJ. But someone's going to have to get some points. So who are you seeing as that guy or guys?
I'm seeing Horn as that guy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Horn as that guy. He's played, he was at Arizona State. Mm-hmm. He averaged double figures there. He's going to have to be that guy. Not only that, I'm not just saying on a scoring sense. Yeah, he's going to have to score the ball, but he's going to have to lead. You're going to have a point guard like Jarkel was like a leader. Mm-hmm. He ran the point guard position. He was a scoring point guard, but he ran the show. He got the ball inside. He got, the offense running and going, and, he was that guy. Yeah. Him and Taquavion. Taquavion, if he got hot, start knocking down half-court 3-point shots. No, don't shoot that. Oh, okay, good shot.
You'd be like,
great choice.
Okay,
great shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good shot. That was a bad shot. But it went in, so it was a good shot.
But you talked about Jarkel being a scoring point guard, but he was someone that actually increased his assists, just because of the nature of the team and the transition game, right? And that's a thing that Coach really emphasizes on. The one thing I'm really curious about is this a team that's going to be really good in transition, right? And I think that it's a system that Coach likes to run is the kind of to hurry you up and force you into turnovers, especially those live ball turnovers.
Because he counts deflections. He counts a lot of defensive stats. That at the end of the game they add up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you can win and lose a game if you're not doing those things. I mean, to still be playing the way that he's played here in the ACC, you have to get bigger. He's gotten bigger. He's brought some big people in or whatever, because before it was just like 3 guards. And
he's changed his philosophy in that regard,
right?
Yeah,
you got to have some big guys. You can't go against Carolina, and 6'5", 6'6", and they're 6'10", 250, 3, you got to be able to bang, and you got to have an inside presence. And in this conference, you got to have some size, and you got to have guys that can play down and know how to play down low. But you also got to have steady guard play. You know what I mean? You got to have guys that can knock the shot down, like you said. And Horn is that guy, and I'm forgetting he might not. I don't know if he's going to. I don't know what's going on with him.
Cam Woods.
So. Cam Woods.
Huh?
I'm talking about Cam or MJ Rice.
MJ
Rice. Yeah. Is he with the team, or is he going to play? Did he come back?
Yeah, supposedly he's back.
He was supposed to be a big part of what Coach Keats wanted to do. So if he's not involved, it's going to be tough.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flightland's Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flightland's Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flightlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flightlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
I actually had a kind of a non something that came up at ACC Media Days, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts. It's kind of off topic, but just kind of, you were directly affected by this, and Commissioner Phillips said that all 18 teams may not make the ACC tournament, and I kind of wanted to take it back from your guys' perspective in '83, where you needed the ACC tournament to advance into the NCAA tournament. Right. Kind of, what are your thoughts on something like that, if that were to come to fruition?
Well, you got to play harder. I mean, if every team is not going to make the ACC tournament, man, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
You would think every team is going to make the tournament, but now you have 18. You have all these teams. That's a possibility. So, I mean, I think NC State has won 2 games. Maybe since Keats has been here in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, he's won 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's won 2
the COVID
games.
year, and he won 1 last year.
Yeah, and he won 1 last year. I mean, it's a tough tournament to play in. You know what I mean? From when I was part of 2 ACC championships. One as a grad assistant, and the other one was my freshman year. Winning the whole thing. But like you said, if we only had 8 teams.
Right, a little different.
So everybody made it. You know what I mean? Everybody made the ACC tournament. That's what made the ACC tournament great, because a team that didn't do well could win the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You get on a roll, you start playing, boom, you're holding championship trophy.
Right.
But yeah, so many teams, and you got the year after that, you got all these teams coming in. You got SMU, you got Stanford, you got,
Cal.
I mean, the women's basketball is going to be crazy, with Stanford.
Stanford's a good program, man.
Great program.
Easier.
It's a national championship program coming into the ACC. But on the men's side, I mean, so you have so many teams, and if the commissioner of the conference says some teams are not going to make the ACC tournament, hey man, you
makes every game important, doesn't it?
Yeah, this ain't the ACC Big Ten Challenge,
right?
When if you don't win, you don't play the next year. This is the ACC tournament, so
right.
Putting teams together and playing well, barring injuries, it's a long season.
Yeah,
it's a long season, but it's so many games you can play, in the tournament. So that's a wake up call,
right?
When the commissioner says something like that, hey, not every team is going to make the tournament. So hey, you coaches better get your act together. Players get your act together. It's going to be harder to win that chip.
So one player in particular, to kind of transitioning back, kind of talking about this roster a little bit, that I really wanted to ask you about, because it was definitely a head scratcher when it got announced that he was coming. But Michael O'Connell, the transfer from Stanford, point guard transfer from Stanford, averaged 5.2 points, 3.1 assists, and 2.5 rebounds per game, but had a career high 12 assists against Washington last year. A guy that seems to be more of kind of like a Tyler Lewis-esque player, where he's more of kind of a game manager, a guy that will, pass you into being open, not necessarily like a scorer, which I think maybe you kind of look at Jay and Taylor, DJ Horns, more of those guys. Do you kind of see Michael as kind of being kind of same thing, kind of the yin and yang like that? If we need to be less scoring and more
yin and yang, he and Horn in the game. I mean, somebody's got to pass the ball,
right? You got to pass the ball.
Somebody got to run the show. Somebody, you gotta have the shooter, you gotta have the guy that can run the show for you. That can be the extension of the coach on the court. And he's a guy that's played that role before, and he's going to be necessary this season
But
for the men's team to move forward.
But do you see like there might be games where you might want more of a score aggressive type point guard, and then there might be some games where you want more of a game?
Yeah, according to the flow of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna need some games. You're gonna need a guy to score the ball, but you're gonna always need somebody to facilitate, to run the show, and to be that extension of the coach on the court.
Yeah.
You need that guy, and Jordan was that guy last year.
Right.
He was an extension of Coach Keats.
Phenomenal.
He knew what Coach Keats wanted. Coach Keats let him play and do what he wanted. And he got the ball to the right people. He scored when he, was supposed to. He wasn't afraid to take the big shot, and run the show at the same time. So, our guy back then was Sidney Lowe. He was that guy, that can handle the ball, bring it up, run the show, get the ball to the guys in the times where they needed, time and score, knew what Coach V wanted. You got to have a guy on the court like that in order to win, in order to move forward. Even now, everybody thinks you just jack up threes, and you need somebody like that that's able to settle your team down, get the ball, look at time, look at score, and not just jack up a 40-footer and hope it goes in.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need a guy that can settle the team down. Okay, it's the 3-point game. Who's gonna get the ball?
Yeah.
Who's gonna get the ball to?
Yep.
Who coach want me to get the ball to? What play we gonna run to get the ball to? Our scorer inside, or set that guy up for the corner jump shot to keep us in the game.
Yeah.
Or to move us forward.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that guy, and he could be that player.
Could be.
The one player I kind of want to spotlight, and I think this is really going to be his team this year. It was Casey Morsell, who was taking the media days. This is a guy that's always been a really good defender, like lockdown defender, but he's also been a guy. When I was doing some research for tonight, he has actually improved every stat line every year. So he's just a guy that's gotten better and better every year. And he's up to, like we talked about earlier, 11.8 points a game last year and almost 42% from three. He's going to be a guy that's going to be counted on probably so much on this team. Just talk about the intangibles of KC. And I don't think he's a guy that not a lot of people talk about, but they should be talking about.
They should be talking about KC. When he came in, he had that. He knew how to play defense. He came from Virginia. He played defense well there. He transferred here. I think he and Jack, when Jack came back, I think it hurt his game.
It
hurt KC Marcel. He was playing his best basketball. Then, you throw another shooter out there, and then he's standing in the corner looking for the ball, and somebody else is shooting it now. I'm just saying, Jack was a great ball player, but when he came back, I think it messed up the chemistry of the team. They were playing well without him, and when he came back, now, he's looking to shoot the ball. That's just my own observation.
That's fair.
Nobody told me this. Just from my experience of watching basketball all these years, when he came back from his injury, the team kind of lost games they weren't supposed to lose, or they weren't playing in sync anymore, and because KC wasn't getting the ball.
And
KC Marcel, not only is he become a great player, but he's a great person.
Amazing person.
Definitely.
I got to know him over the years. He's one of my favorite players. Like you said, he's gotten better every year, shooting the ball. His defense has always been there. Coach gets on him a lot. Just being behind the bench and watching or broadcasting the games or whatever. He expects a lot from him. And KC, he tries to deliver.
Yep.
But he has to get the ball.
I think he has to be more selfish this year. I know that doesn't sound right, in a team game.
Yeah, because he's a catch and shoot guy.
For sure.
Yeah, he's a catch and shoot guy. He's not an off the dribble, go to the hole. He's not to Quavion. He's not. If you give him the ball in the right spot, he'll knock it down.
That corner.
He's waiting the corner shot or whatever. Or if he's catching and shooting, he's fine. But if he's got to go drive and shake and bake and get to the, that's not his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not that type of scorer. He's a scorer like if you're running a break and he runs to the 3-point line, get him the basketball, let him shoot the basketball.
Every time.
He'll knock it down.
Absolutely.
You know,
he was deadly in transition from 3 last year.
Yeah, definitely. So you got to get him the basketball. You got to get him involved in the game. You know, they've had some secret games I can't talk about on here. You know, against some team or whatever. You know, he played well in that game.
Good.
You know, I'm looking forward to watching KC Marcel. You know, do his thing this year. I think he's one of my favorite players. And when he's rolling. Usually the Wolfpack's rolling as well because I remember joining you know, getting him the ball in the corner and you know and the Florida offense or whatever and he's knocking them down.
Yep.
And he's stealing the ball and you know he's a great defender. So yeah, give him his due. Yeah. KC Marcel. Yeah.
You heard it first here.
You heard it first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, the one guy, which, you know, since we were talking about Westmore a lot in the first part, I feel it's only right that we, you know, and a lot of people want to talk about Kevin Keats heading into the season. And, you know, I won't necessarily talk about, you know, hot seat or what he has to do or whatever that jazz. But, like,
right.
But the biggest thing, which I'll say, is that, like, AC Media Day, like, it just kind of, like,
How
came
can you
to
not
me
like
again.
him?
I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, he is, like, such a great ambassador for NC State basketball, man. Like
very charismatic.
which I know for a lot of things.
He and Coach Westmore. I mean, you know, Coach Westmore reminds me of Coach V because he's kind of funny and he's that guy. He's he's a comical guy. You know, you can't make
witty.
you laugh or whatever. Coach Keats, you know, he's a little bit. He's not as funny as Coach Westmore, but you know.
But he'll snap some one-liners, though. He'll snap them.
Yeah, he has some one-liners, and you know, and he last year I thought he had his team. You know what the team he wanted. Mm-hmm. You know that team last year with the point guard, you know, size, inside, outside. You know, game since his first season. You know when he had the big fella. From that's playing for Miami.
The Martin? No, not Martin. Oh, you're at 7.
Yeah, you're at 7. That team when he made the tournament his first year here. You know some of the players he had back then. But defensively and inside outside. You know the way they played defense last year against Duke. That Duke game was the best defense I ever seen a team that he had played here.
I love
it. Yeah, it was like a clinic. That Duke game that they played at Reynolds at PNC Arena. Yeah. That's Coach Keats. That's his style of game.
I love it.
You know that was his. He was in his glory that game because the defense was there. They were knocking down shots. Duke couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean in that game and wound up blowing them out. But you know, he's a great ambassador to the game. I know fans want to see him win more, want to win a, ACC championship. He's been here. He's one of the, older guys who've been, in the conference. So, a lot of fans, people want to expect a lot from him. They want to see him win. They want to see a good Wolfpack team. Who doesn't?
Amen.
You know what I mean? But yeah, he's a great ambassador to the game. I'm a big Coach Keats fan. I want to see him win. He's just a good guy. On top of that, whenever I see him, at football games or, he's a tailgate. Ernie, come on, eat something at the tailgate.
Yeah.
I'm around him a lot. I see him a lot, and I wish him nothing but the best success. And I'm hoping this team this year, he can go a little farther in the ACC tournament. And get to the NCAA tournament again.
So I think that's what NC State fans are looking for, right? That next step, that next progression, right? You won a game in the ACC tournament only for the second time. Now you might want to see a little run, maybe make the semifinals, finals, then
Exactly. Yeah,
translate
exactly.
into an
That's what the
NCAA
fans
win.
want to see. They want to see some progression.
Correct.
They want to get to that championship game. Last time we were at the championship game with Sidney Lowe, his first year here. That's the last time we were.
That was in Tampa, like in
That was in Tampa.
2012,
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah. That's the last time we were we made it to the championship game.
Yeah.
So, fans are hungry. They want to get to that championship, ACC championship, get close, again and be relevant and, win a couple of games in the in the NCAA tournament, bring some excitement back here to Raleigh. And I know that's what Coach wants. He wants the fans to, enjoy the season and feel proud and go pack and all that. He wants that.
Amen.
All right. So my last question for you, though. All right. First episode, you didn't like expectations and predictions. That's fine.
Right.
But I did find out an interesting stat from the media days when they told Coach Keats that in his 7 years, he's had 7 different leading scorers, which is crazy to even think about.
Yes.
So go out on a limb and give me your leading scorer this year. We're not going to talk about standings and championships. Just give me a leading scorer for this year.
Casey Marcel.
All right.
I like it.
Casey Marcel, he's going to be the leading scorer this year on this team. If they get him the ball, he'll be the leading scorer on this team. And if not him, Horn.
Okay.
Horn, or it could be it could be Big Fella if they get him the ball.
Yep.
But definitely my first pick is Casey Marcel.
And DJ stays out of foul trouble. And then the last fun question from my side is looking at this team, Ernie, who do you see the most Ernie Myers-esque out of on this roster? Who do you see a lot of similarities in on this team?
That's another
Give you 10 games.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, wait and see.
That's another wait and see. You know
All
what
right,
I mean?
all right.
Wait and see. Wait and see. Who's going to score the ball? Who's going to keep the team running? Who's going the next man up? Who's going to be that guy?
And who?
I think we just created a new Wolfie category, the Ernie Meyer.
Ernie Meyer-esque.
Yeah, Ernie Meyer-esque, a new Wolfie. Yeah, that needs to be needs to be put in.
And which player is the best?
Yeah,
looking
you got to
on the
have
team?
a guy that's going to step up.
Yeah.
I was the ultimate, next guy up.
You were.
You
were
back then. Who's the next? Guy go down, leading guy go. Who's going to step his game up?
That needs to be an award.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
All right. So give me 4 or 5 games. I'm doing the Charleston game. Andrew and I are doing that Charleston game because Gary and Tony has they got football obligations.
They got football, yeah.
I'm gonna be in we gonna see. We gonna see, and we'll talk about that too.
And hopefully it's not due to injury. So let's preface that.
Let's preface that. Just come in the game.
There you go.
And do what you got to do and keep the team keep the team going. You know what I mean? Keep the team. Be that guy.
Keep the train on the tracks. Keep it rolling.
When you come in for someone, there's no letdown.
There you go.
You're not just coming in to fill a spot for a minute. You uplifting the team.
Yep. I love it, Ernie. Well, thank you so much, Ernie. Really do appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited about the season. I got the juices flowing. Y'all got me ready, man.
Y'all got ready, man. Let's go.
I was kind of soft, but now I'm ready. I'm ready. Y'all got me ready for this season.
You're like a peacock. We need to let you fly. Like you were just kind of chill. Yeah. You were chill. We ramped you up. Now
you ramped me up.
Let's go.
You ramped me up, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm the hype man with Am. I'm the hype man. I'm the fan guy that's on the radio. That's why I think the fans like me because
everybody needs a good hype man, Ernie. Everybody needs a good hype man.
Yeah, you need a hype man. I'm Flavor Flav. I'm that
guy. There we go.
I love it. All righty, y'all. All right. Well, thank you all so much again for tuning in. Really do appreciate your support. Make sure again to go support Ernie and the guys. Wolfpack Radio.
And support these guys.
And support these guys.
Tuffy,
exactly.
Yeah, support them, man. It's a great show. Listen. They're gonna have some great guests on this year. Hopefully, I'll be on there again. Yeah, maybe with the women's team or the men's team, and we're going further in the tournament. I'd love to be back going here. But fans, support this Tuffy podcast here, man. These guys are great.
Appreciate you, Ernie. Thank you all. Thanks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And make sure, again, to stay tuned. Make sure you hit that free subscribe button. If you enjoyed this conversation, hit that like button. And make sure to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, y'all. With that being said, we'll see y'all soon. Let's get the season started. And go Pack, y'all.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.